Saturday. How are you doing today? I just wanted to come in here and talk to you about tested faith. Has your faith been tested this year? Yeah. My faith has definitely been tested this year. And as we close out the year, I've been reflecting on how my faith has been tested, and not just tested when things were easy, tested in the storms, tested when I didn't understand the journey, when I still don't understand the journey. And every single time, my faith carried me. And there were moments this year I didn't have clarity, moments that I didn't have any answers. And there are still moments right now where I just know that all I can do is rely on my faith. And that's the thing. And we have to know that sometimes faith is enough. That is enough to keep us going because that's exactly what we must do sometimes. One of the greatest comforts I've learned is that I can believe and know that it's already done. And knowing that brings me so much peace. And I have proof of that in my own life, in my journey on this earth. I have proof of believing that my faith will carry me through the storms, through the challenges, knowing that even when it seems difficult, even when I can't see how to move forward, I can choose to believe. I can choose to know that it's already done. A lot of times we want to worry and we want to be upset and we want to feel as if things are hopeless. And what I've learned is staying in a state of feeling hopeless and worried and fearful just makes you sick. It doesn't serve to help you find any comfort in your situation. But knowing that it's already done brings me peace because I may not see the full picture yet, but God does. And with me having faith that I don't have to have control of everything's, this is how I'm able to stay focused and keep my mind on the journey and sometimes on the battle that I need to fight, the journey that I need to go through, the war that I'm experiencing. And this is where faith helps you go through believing that just like you've been through different challenges and obstacles in your life before, you can go through this storm. You literally can have peace in the midst of the storm. Have you ever been through a storm and know that because of your faith, your belief, your hope, you were going to be okay? I've experienced that before. I've talked about me feeling helpless being in situations that I thought I was not going to make it through, and some way, somehow, I was able to. This is what life is. We don't know what tomorrow will bring, but we can choose to have faith. We can choose to know that faith is not just saying, I believe and I have faith and I'm going to trust when things are good. I think we get to exercise our faith when things are horrible, when we don't see a way through, when we know that we are not in control and we have to trust that God is making a way for us. And in doing that, that's where I can find peace. I just have to stay obedient in the now. Faith is not about having the full plan. Faith is trusting that when the plan feels incomplete, you can faith is trusting when the plan feels incomplete. So when you feel as if you don't know how you're going to make it, you can choose to believe that some way, somehow God will provide because he's done it before. If you have been on a journey where you've seen God work in your life, work in ways that you know that only because you had faith and trusted you were able to make it through. So that's that faith, that's that trusting when the plan feels incomplete. So I also find peace in remembering where I come from. See, I come from a long line of powerful women, women who've endured, women who've prayed, women who've stood firm even when they were afraid. And that lineage matters to me. Their strength flows through me, and their resilience lives in my choices. And I love thinking about Queen Esther. And I like the story of Queen Esther, and I like to revisit it often. See, she didn't feel ready. She didn't feel safe. She didn't feel qualified. Does that sound like you? Do you sometimes feel that you're not equipped, you're not ready for what you're being tasked to do? She definitely didn't feel safe. Do you feel safe right now with all the many things going on? She definitely didn't feel qualified for the huge responsibility that was laid upon her. Yet she was positioned for it. She was in the right place in the right time, and it was really her destiny. Her courage, it wasn't loud, it was intentional. She trusted God even when the outcome was uncertain. And this is important to me because I think this is exactly what we must do. This is how our faith is being tested. We have to trust even when we don't know the outcome. And that kind of faith, that's the type of faith that changes history. So as we end the year, I want you to reflect on your faith and where has your faith carried you this year? When nothing else could, how were you able to have faith to help you to even get to the end of the year? Where did you survive because you trusted instead of panicked? Where has your faith carried you when nothing else could? If you're still standing, your faith worked, my friend. If you're still hopeful, your faith worked. If you're still dreaming, your faith worked. And that alone is something to honor as we step into this next season of the year. You can choose to be grateful for that faith that has sustained you through everything this year, all the challenges, all the obstacles, all the situations where you felt hopeless, where you were tested. You've been tested not when things were perfect or you perceived them to be perfect, but even in those times when you didn't understand what was going on, where you felt as if you literally were in a storm, you survived all of that. Every single time, your faith has carried you through. There were moments where you didn't feel safe, where you felt lost, where you didn't have any answers. But faith is what got you through. So, as we end this year, as we celebrate this season, the holiday season, take some time to think about that faith and how you will exercise your faith because you know it will be tested. But will you believe and know, just like Queen Esther, that even though you may not feel ready, even though you may sometimes not feel safe, and if you may feel as if you're not qualified, you are exactly the person that is required to do the work. You are equipped for this time. So you have to be courageous. You have to have faith. You have to trust and believe, even when the outcome is out uncertain. This is what will lead to the change that you desire in your life. Just know your faith will be tested, but you can have faith and know that you will survive. You will persevere. You've got to believe. So continue to know that each day you show up for yourself, you are showing up with intention. It's not always easy. You're not always going to get it right, but you're still believing. Remember, the fact that you've made it through all this, you've survived instead of panicking, you're still standing. Your faith worked. You're still hopeful. Even though this year beat you up, you still believe. You still know a way will be made. It's already done. It's already done. It's already done. You're still dreaming. Your faith worked. That alone is something to honor as we step into this next season. Give thanks because you've learned a lot this year. You've grown a lot this year. Your faith has been tested this year, and you're still rising. Continue to believe and continue to get your wins every 90 days. I'm Coach Sandy B, and I'm always going to encourage you to take another step towards your goals, to be intentional, to know that you can move forward and have faith on your journey as you get your wins. You can do it, goal getters.